Hello, and welcome to Behind the Powerhouse. This is the podcast showing off some of the things behind the scenes of what we've got going on at Powerhouse Art. And today we're just going to be having a conversation about the podcast and kind of Powerhouse and what it is. I guess we'll start with Tom. You will just tell me what Powerhouse is. And
well, first I got
started.
some brand new shoes.
There you go.
First time I've ever wore these. I thought it was important.
Clean.
My feet are super comfy. And the Powerhouse just happened. It wasn't a plan. So this building is called the Powerhouse. Like on the front of it, it says Powerhouse. Because way back in the day, I mean, they generated electricity here. I've heard several stories, so I don't know the full truth of like where the power went. And same thing with the steam. And I didn't want this place. I didn't want to do it. And the gentleman that owned the building, he's like, you got to come up here. I got to show you something. So we walked up the steps, and I fell in love with it. And there's a crane. You can't see it, but there's an overhead trolley crane right behind us. And as soon as I saw that thing, I'm like, it was meant to be, which I think a lot of what I do is simply meant to be. And that's how it happened. That's how I got the name. The name was already there, so that kind of like fell into place. I didn't work for that. A lot of the ideas, I didn't work for it. It just happened. So I've talked to you about the Muse. I've talked to like everybody about the Muse, and where I felt it here. I don't know if it was on that beam or like the beam that's down there, but I just felt this place.
So you say the Muse. What's the Muse?
Well, I don't really know exactly because I've tried to research it and study it, and the only little bit I found is not like the Muse. There's several. There's like 7 or 9 muses, like, and what that is to me is I feel like most of my ideas were given to me. Like I didn't come up with them, and I find them in my sleep. So I wake up and I have sketch pads right next to my bed. I used to have an erasing board above my bed, and I just get these ideas, and I felt it. We'll say that beam there, because I don't remember which 2 of it was, but I'm like, man, it's meant to be. Like I'm supposed to do this.
So when you say like this building spoke to you and you felt like you meant to be here, what exactly are your plans with the building? Why did you feel like that?
I just felt a connection to the metal itself, to like the beams, to the kind of the people that made it. They're all gone. Like there isn't a person left that made this thing.
What are you turning it into?
I want to do a collection of art, of a collection of machines. So I'm not really into history as far as finding significance of, oh, this happened, we need to save it. I think it's really cool because like somebody made it, and then we get to see the progression of equipment, technology. I hate the word safety, but it's fun to look at stuff and be like, somebody worked on that. Like, and by today's standards, you couldn't. So I like all that too, but I just simply look at this as it's a box, and we're going to be able to fill it with tons and tons of opportunity. And I don't know what we're going to put in it. So the Powerhouse, to me, it was given to me somehow, and I just want to be like the coach of the team, and everybody puts in how they see it, how they view it, what they want to do with it. And I personally just want to find really cool objects, put them on display, and then other people can fill in the spaces. And I just found out today that we can lift 20 tons. I'm so excited about that. So the crane's got a 20-ton limit on it. I thought it was 5. So my plans just got way bigger. And that's why John's upset, because he knows I'm not kidding.
So you say like creating opportunity and having others add their voice. I guess that's a good segue to sort of introduce all of us here and talk about how we're involved with the project.
Okay.
And kind of what it means to us too, if you've got that off the top of your head. I'm going to throw that over to John right away.
Well, I'm John, and I've known Tom for a long time. We worked the business together, and then when he started to do this art stuff, he wanted my expertise. No, I just am really creative with my hands. I like working with my hands. I like, keeps me sane to do something. If I'm not doing something, I'll probably lose my mind.
That's all of us, I think.
I think so. But it's fun. It's never the same thing. I enjoy it.
So I was excited the other day when we were building something. You're like, man, because we were doing the owl. You said, I've been waiting to do this. I've been waiting to do some
right.
like sculpture work. And I didn't know that. So I was super pumped up to hear you say, well, this is
claws.
this is what I want to do. So we did make some super gnarly, like scary looking claws. And, me and John, we're actually builders. I don't really like the word artist because it puts too much pressure on me. I can accepted it now, like I'm okay with it, but it used to really bother me. I just look like we're just a couple construction guys slapping together cool stuff, but it's cool that we both have the taste to mix with the arts. But what I found is that's why it's super hard to find people that can help us, because it's more than just like painting or sculpting. It's like we're working with heavy stuff, and like John said, we worked together for a long time, and it was a relationship. I'm like, man, I hope he comes with me, because he was my right hand man. As a friend, as just like a builder, like it's pretty cool. Known each other for a long time. And I remember him as being an artist in school. He was all quiet, and the girls all loved him because he was mysterious.
Still am.
He was a ladies' man.
There you go. So when you talk about building at the house, I guess I want to go back to the house quick before we continue with the rest of the intros here.
Yeah.
What is the house on Garling? What do you mean
The house
by that?
the house on Garling is Addison and I's home in Avery. It's where we lived. It's a very personal project, and it wasn't supposed to be for anybody else. Like, it was ours, and we lived there, we slept there, we ate there, cooked there. We've had ups and downs there. Like, it's where we moved. That's what it was, and then it just became more in the public eye. And then I just realized, like, well, I just need to turn this into something a little bit different. So now the idea is that we'll turn it into Airbnb to produce income, simply to build this. 'Cause it'll take a lot, like a lot of business planning, financial planning to build this, and that's why that's really important, and that's why it's tied to this. I wish it could have been separate, but we've spent so much time there now that it needs to produce something. I need people to see what it is that we built, and then I also look at it as it's a resume. It's a resume to show people, like, no, man, like, I'm not talking about what we're gonna do. I'm showing you what we did do, and now I'm gonna take it on a scale, like nobody's ever seen. Like, that's what that is, and that's why it's super important. It's just simply, we have talent, we have the ability to do something. It's not just talk, like, it was action.
Yeah.
And now people can see it. So that's why it's super important. And it gives Addison a little time to shine.
I was gonna say it's
What do you
perfect
think about
time
the
to
house?
introduce Addison. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm Addison. And I think I moved there when I was about in like 4th grade. I was probably like 8. So like growing up, like everybody, like they would always drive by. They always ask me like how I feel about the house. But it's always been my normal. Like, it's always been what I'm used to. Like, seeing all the machinery, all our welding equipment. I just grew up around it. So like, it's never been weird to me.
Yeah. How has it been kind of growing up there? I obviously didn't know how to weld at first. Like, what have you kind of learned being around there and being around your dad and seeing him work?
I feel I've learned nothing there is really permanent. I feel like everything there has changed. Like, I think one of the like biggest things I remember, like one of the first things was when you took the floor out. You like took the floor out. So like when you first walk in the door, it was like no floor. Like he said, be careful when you walk in. Like there's no floor. So like that was a big change. And then because it was like the kitchen, the living room, but all our rooms were still back there with the bathroom. It's like it was definitely like a big slow change. And nothing was really like boom, like except when he did tear the house down. That was a big change
too. So it's always sort of been changing and evolving over time, and it's like nothing is the same.
Like I think even when we first moved in there, like he took the windows out. So like it's always been like change. So I've always kind of been used to change.
It's a metaphor for life.
Yeah, no, for sure.
It's never really been like the same.
Yeah, no, like tearing the house down to me in your story is such a big moment. It's like you had built up this sort of life, and then you had to just tear everything down and start something new out of what you already had. And it's like, that's transformation. That's what it is to be human.
Yeah.
And I don't know. It was cool. I guess I'll introduce myself now. Kind of a good segue into that. But I ran into you during a filming for a documentary at a class at ISU, and just heard your story and really kind of connected with what you were doing. And I've continued working with you since then. But it was cool to just see your story and then be able to translate that and share that with so many more people and get the community involved and all of that stuff. So it's just been interesting to be able to continue to tell that, and that kind of brings us to where we are here. Like, this is just the extension of sharing your story with more people and getting people involved.
I look at you as however it is that you want to put your name on, like an artist or a film person. And what I tell people about you, I'm like, well, hey, he's putting his art on top of our art. So again, if we have the foundation and we have the box, well, then you do what you do, you shine. That helps us shine. So it's a collaboration of people. And so it was cool to see what you bring to the table. And when we went to the City Museum in St. Louis, that's when I truly appreciated what it is that you have to bring, because while I was there, they have a new room and they just have a documentary playing. And it was so noisy, I don't know what they said, but I'm like, that's my favorite part. Like seeing what they did. And you were there, like
Yeah.
I told you, I'm like, oh, man, I love what you're doing even more now.
Yep. It's like actually documenting the building process, and then you add that plus time. It's like you can see that growth and that change through the video. So
Yeah.
it's just, I don't know, it's cool to be involved with that and get the community in on it.
Yeah.
I think that's a good sort of segue too. Getting
I saw that
community
too. I'm
involved.
like, this is going to be really easy.
Here it comes.
And talking about change over time. like,
Absolutely.
yeah.
Yeah.
Introduce
so,
yourself. and-
I'm Hannah. I am currently a freelance art educator, but I'm a historian by education. I'm also a daughter of artists. So so much of this story resonates with me, and I'm just kind of picking up on all of those frequencies. And so, was reared in the creative community here locally in Bloomington Normal, fell into an education and a career in local history. So again, that provenance, right? Celebrating the stories of these items that are being kind of reclaimed from history. And even if the historical, time and place isn't the significance, right? It's this really neat opportunity to collapse time, to reshape time, right? You're taking these existing artifacts, right, and creating something new with them and introducing them to new audiences. And so again, the opportunity for us to create simply by reaching out, right? And I was in a position where we were looking to connect small artists, young artists with big art. And so Tom obviously came first to mind. Addison, being a younger artist, also just helped really, fill out that story, right? And this idea of a family unit creating something new together. And then the fact that you were already telling that story, just reaffirmed or confirmed that it was an awesome opportunity to just leverage any platform that we had in order to help share that story, but also I think in some ways now contribute to it.
Yeah. So how are you maybe contributing to that? What are some of your plans with what you're doing?
So I think that falls into that time of change and transition. Mm-hmm. We're figuring it out. But Tom has done such an amazing job building a community of artists, right, around your work. And I think collectively we agreed that now is that time to start building community around that work and the larger public. And so having, again, experience in youth education, having experience as a community builder and advocate, it just seems like a natural time to start seeing, what power, what energy we can start generating around the work that's being done and start, telling those stories, but then really reinterpreting them for different audiences and engaging that hands-on interaction with these physical spaces.
So I know that the community is super important for what we're trying to build here. And I look at like if you're going to pay your bills, arts and entertainment, that's the first thing to cut when times are tough, right? And I know that. So it's going to take a lot of people with a lot of vision, a lot of background, and a lot of skills to make this successful, because at the end of the day, like, it's got to pay for itself. Like, I can't take money from somebody to, like, oh, we need this is how it's going to go. So what I was drawn to you about is, one, I didn't really know a lot about you, but I knew when I was around you, like, there was a really good energy, and you got stuff done. So, like, that's what I knew. Like, I knew that you got stuff done. When you said you were going to do something, you did it. And I'm like, I got to be around that. So I really like that a lot. What I run into is there's so many people that'll talk about what they're going to do. Like, oh, I'm going to do this, or I want to do that. And I don't want anything to do with that. Like, you're a hustler, you get things done, and your vocabulary is super impressive. I like reading what you write. It's really cool.
Yeah.
And then at the end of the day, you know, if your passion is people and education and a little bit, well, that's a lot. Like, that's a whole bunch. And I'd love to be a part of, at the end of the day, like, you bring all these people together, which is super hard. And I love being around it, but that's not my thing. I don't want anything to do with that. I don't like that part of it. So it's going to take so many people to make this become what it's going to become. And I'm really good at recognizing opportunity. So whatever it is that you need to do, like, I'm super excited to be around you, whether that be a part of this or a same thing, you doing your own thing, and you simply bring what you do and you have, to a location that's here. And I want other artists to be able to do that. Like, at the end of the day, when we get, like, our core group of people, that will just be the core group of people. And then what we will build, what we'll have, is someplace to give somebody, like, okay, here, you do your thing, and we're just simply providing you the space. And that's how it's going to be the most successful, because an individual that wants to do something on their own, they're going to really do it. So I want to find more of those people, whether it be somebody that just simply paints a little bitty baby picture, or chalk and paint on the sidewalk. Like, it's all super important, and gives everybody, like, a little bit of space. So I don't know you well, but I know that, like, you get stuff done. So you are crazy important to this, because you'll reach out there and show people what they are, and the little people are really important. We could have an impact on somebody that could last. Like, I can do that. And so the house, you asked me about the house. You're like, well, what is it? Well, basically, that was me failing in life, and that's just kind of where I went. And but look what it turned into. Like, we build every day, we talk every day, we have a great day, and there's so much healing in art. That's what I think is important, to show the little people. Like, oh, life sucks. Well, it doesn't suck when you're painting.
Yeah.
It doesn't suck when you're building.
Something that you said earlier too. I was gonna say, you were talking about using sort of big art, or maybe bigger artists who have been through a little bit more life, to kind of inspire, and you're almost appealing to the soul of little kids, even if they don't know it. That's like, education has so much power, and I don't know, was there a reason that you went with Addison's work specifically to sort of do that, to bridge that gap?
Yeah, I think that's exactly what it was, right? It was a bridge. It's finding people who might be better able to relate to, right? You're a little bit less distant from the kiddo years, but it's this idea that, this person who is maybe not that much older than me, who grew up in this area, right, has this agency and has this mode of self-expression and creates in a medium that not everybody does, right? So it's one thing, every painter is inspiring, every, sculptor of various mediums for sure. But to have, just an exemplary, representative example of a younger individual creating in a really cool and very permanent medium, you know what I mean? was just a really neat opportunity. And then to see Addison interacting with the kiddos, right? And being able, how was that? I don't want to speak for you, but what was it like to create with them and kind of share your art through them?
It was still really fun. Like, I always love working with like people younger than me, because I feel like even though like they don't listen very well, they're very expressive. Like, they tell you kind of like when we did that, like with the flowers, like everybody was doing it differently, but you could still see them do their artwork. They were all doing very well, and they really all did ask questions, or they would tell. That's why I like kids too. They tell you how they feel. Like, they'll tell you if they don't like it, they'll tell you. If they like it, they'll tell you. So like, I like working with kids. It was really fun, and I'm glad you picked me for that. It was really fun.
Absolutely.
It was pretty cool to go down there.
Yeah, that's all like sort of connecting art with the people here. Like, art is so connected with life and human emotions, but a lot of people don't really even think about art. They just think about, oh, I'm doing this thing in my life and I'm working this job so that I can live and maybe retire and then do what I want. But art sort of invites you to feel your emotions now and feel what the world around you is saying and sort of act on it. So I think that's what we're doing here, is doing that, and also inviting more people to maybe think that way and pay attention to what their soul is saying. So that's kind of what's so powerful about this to me.
Well, no, I was just going to respond to you. What's so unique about this particular, form of artistic expression is that you can't help but see the process, right? And so often, art making can be kind of this insular solo show. And even though, right, it can be this individual experience, the scale of it, right, just the materials being used demands a certain amount of attention. And I think that that's a whole other way, right, of connecting with folks, is when they see a building being totally reimagined, or they see a house, installing artwork very publicly and in a way that it's not overnight, right? I mean, Addison talked about it. It is a process. And to bring people into that process, whether, very explicitly or just, on the periphery, kind of them peeking in, that's a really unique opportunity too that not every artist has.
Yep. And so I think art is a freedom that hasn't been squashed yet. It's one of the last few. I want to fight to maintain that. So you can kind of do what you want with the freedom and expression of not being regulated. With the arts, it's, if you want to yell, yell. You know what I mean? Like, I don't want to say, oh, you got to be quiet. Like, I really want to keep that, and then I think that's important for people to understand or see, like, oh, it doesn't matter how you draw it, it's perfect. It doesn't matter how you sculpt it, it's perfect. And that's what I hope the youth sees, is like, oh no, I can do what I want, and it's not wrong. So I want to make sure that we push that out there, and it's important for adults too. So many people over a period of time are like, oh, and it's always an adult, I wish I could whatever, and I always say, well, then just do it. Well, so maybe we can have a spot where we motivate more than just little ones. We motivate big ones, to go out and do something.
And maybe that need to yell, like that need to be loud and to let that out, is like the art itself. Like,
it is. It's like it's a space to do it. You need to be able to do what it is that you want to do, and if it's not hurting somebody, then you should be able to do that. And there's always somebody trying to squash that. I told you I hate the word safety, and it's usually gone after the word safety.
Disclaimer for everybody out there. This is
Well, no, safety is a very dangerous word, because if I tell you something's unsafe, well, yeah, we need to stop that. Well, it's somebody's opinion of what's safe or what isn't safe. It's not means it doesn't safe, but it's hard to combat when somebody says there's a safety issue. It's just somebody's opinion. It doesn't mean it's safe or unsafe. And arts allow us. I think arts keep that word safety away. Music, and you can say anything you want in music. I listen to her music and I kind of hate it. And I'm like, you couldn't have had that music 50 years ago. I mean, absolutely you couldn't have. Well, now we do. And the arts have pushed the envelope. Sometimes I think even too far. But that's just because I'm getting older, right? But arts protect art freedom because people recognize it. And the other thing that it does is we can all speak different languages, have no idea what people are saying, but we all hear it. So it's just like we can communicate no matter where you're at. We all can pick up on something. We all feel that beat, or we can all look at the painting, or we can all look at the machine. Like, it's just a way for us to come together, and I think that's super important.
Yeah, I want to go back to the process too, because I think the process is almost more important, if not just as important as the actual art that you end up with at the end. And I think you kind of sometimes don't necessarily see Tom's vision when you start something, but you're just along for the process, and that's like what
Right.
is rewarding
Yeah.
for this about you.
What
So
do you
what
need?
is that?
I'll do it.
What do you know what like is interesting about that, or what?
I just think it's neat how you can work with somebody who, because I mean, you know, we get along. We're different. We're really different. We have different ideas of what maybe something should look like, but at the same time, it's a collaboration, so it makes it even better. You know, I mean, you've got a vision. I'm like, well, I think I know what his vision is. Maybe I don't. So maybe I do something. You're like, you know what? That's awesome. I like that. That happens
Opportunity.
all the time.
Yeah, he just put a cylinder in upside down. And he had left because it was a weekend, and Addison and I finished it.
A love seat?
I love seeing
We
him.
I
made
knew
a love
it.
seat, yep. But it was just, so there it was. Like we saw something different, and I kept going with it. And we do that all the time. And I'll even come up. She does it all the time. I'm like, that's not what I was like. That's not what I told her to do. But she heard it different, and I can't tell you what I want. You know what I mean? You can't
Yeah.
see it. So I'll go up. I'm like, oh, all right. So it's pretty cool.
Yeah, I mean that's kind of like just on a building scale, that's what you're doing, but also I feel like on a personal scale, that's like what we as humans do. Like, you don't necessarily know someone's life. You probably won't ever understand where someone is in their life, but if you communicate and share your ideas a little bit, and then kind of get more people in or get closer with somebody, then you can kind of share that a little bit and create something together. So
Yep.
I don't know. That's kind of what we're doing, but on a scale way bigger.
Yeah.
And I don't know. We've talked about sharing our individual visions. I've shared my ideas with you a little bit, like
Right.
with the podcast and the YouTube series and stuff like that. And
Yeah.
I don't know if you'll understand maybe what my whole vision is further down the line when it's more put together. So
We'll understand it because you haven't shared it with us, you mean?
no, I've shared it with you, but like
Okay.
the depth and the actual like wholeness of what I have in my head, I'm still working on getting that out. So as we go through the process of that together and you start to see that stuff, then it'll, I don't know, come into actualization more. So
Yeah, no, I feel what you do. Everybody's like, oh man, like he can really put an emotion into stuff, and it's very special and it's very unique, and I like it. And I was joking with Josh. I'm like, man, I hope the world doesn't beat him down too quick, because you need to hold on to what it is that you have. It's very heartfelt and it's special.
Yeah.
And I just feel like you haven't been beat down yet, and we need to also like help protect that, and keep you from getting beat down.
I think getting beat down is life. Going through stuff.
It is,
and,
but you're still super
experiencing
kind
things.
and you're really
Yeah.
nice, and I hope you maintain that. Like, hold on to that, because that's what makes you special, and you can see it in when you do the slow music. I hope this is the slow music part in your video right now. You have something that's special to offer, and I love it. Like, we're a solid team. Like, we're all good. We're all super good people, and we're all hustlers and producers, and that's what it's going to take. That's what Powerhouse is about. Like, just giving us all a little place to shine,
Yeah.
doing our own thing.
And I think that goes way beyond the group of people sitting here.
Oh yeah.
That kind of brings us to this podcast too, I think, what we want to do with this, because sort of my ideas of that is whenever you have an artist come in and collaborate with what you're doing, we'll have them on this show and sort of talk about maybe their process and what they're going through and how that relates to the house on Garling or Powerhouse Art or the sculpture park, whichever sort of things they're working on, and like getting into the change that they felt being here. So
Yeah.
I don't know, what are your ideas with the podcast?
Well, with the podcast, I look at my whole viewpoint or my whole drive isn't what people see or have no idea. Like, you're not going to get it. At the end of the day, I have a business background, and I think the business background is something that like extremely lacks from the art community, because I think you're either like, you're a business or you're a performer or you're an artist or you're whatever. And I've been fortunate enough to have, I have the business background, and I build a lot of stuff in the work it was that we did, and I shifted it over to the arts. But my mind is always just like producing income and things like that. So I see the podcast as like opportunity to bring in more people that'll bring income, that'll help us build and like keep it going. So
Yeah. Show off your mindset of combining
Yes.
arts with the monetary side, just to
it's unfortunately the most important
Yeah.
part of it, and it's the most difficult part of it, and that's the part that I have to focus on, and that's the part that I truly would love nothing to do with. I would love to just sit back and just do this figurative owl sculpture all day long, not talk to anybody, and do my thing, and I'll probably never have that in my lifetime.
Yeah, I mean,
So-
that's the system we live in. Like,
Yeah.
you have to pay bills at the end of the day, and you have to,
It's the giving
through
tree,
things.
the little book
So-
about the apple.
yeah.
I'm
And
growing the apple tree, and one day I'll be able to sit back, hopefully, and be able to do the little sculptures while
Yeah.
this thing is all built and people are doing their own thing.
Yep.
And I think that's why the podcast is super important. We need to get out there what it is that we want to do, what you do, what you do, what you do, and hopefully it'll speak to somebody and be like, I want to be a part of that.
for sure.
Or better yet, like maybe they do it in their community or they do it in their backyard. I'm a firm believer in like the pie isn't just that big.
Yeah.
There's actually like lots of pies.
Yep.
So I'll share my business plan. I'll tell you how I do things. I've always told John, like, we got to show people how we're building this stuff.
Yeah.
Because we're acquiring and figuring out a lot of things that I want other people to know how to do. So I don't believe in trade skills or secrets of mixes and things like that. And so I want to talk, like, hey,
Yeah.
if we know how to do something, we'll put it out there.
Yep.
And when people hear this, hopefully they resonate with it a little bit and reach out to you, or hey, my kid would love to take this class, or I'd love to learn how to do this. And to me, art, that's why I hate the word artist. I hate it's just like it does this to it. I hate that. Like, oh, artist, like this is where you're at.
I kind of disagree a little with that.
Let's hear
I
it.
think art's can be anything's art.
Well, that's what I was
you know?
getting at. Like, so I hear
Yeah.
the word artist, and in my mind, it meant like, oh, you draw,
Right.
or you paint.
Or you sculpt.
Yeah, I hate
Yeah.
that. I've told the story many times about, I think I shared it with you, like the baton twirler. Like I watched on David Letterman, this guy that twirled a baton. I'm like, this is gonna be stupid, but I watched it anyways, and it changed my viewpoint of what I would call art. Like, this guy was this best baton twirler in the planet, and I'm like, well, that's an art. Like, I never realized that like twirling a baton could be an art, and now I see that with everything. So like the brick mason, man, if you're really good at it, like, that's an art. So I see these walls as art.
Yeah.
I see this piece of metal and that bolt is art.
It's
So like,
creation.
we can
You're-
reach out to a lot of people
Yeah.
that do a lot of things. It doesn't have to be a sculptor. It doesn't have to be a painter. Like,
Yeah.
there's so many things that we could do. We could just give everybody a location to do something. I think there's lots of, John and I will talk about like, well, so we grew up in, there's a small group, like the punk rock kids, like the skater kids,
People that didn't fit in.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I didn't know that at the time, but like he's right.
I felt like I fit in.
Yeah, because we fit into that group. Like that was our people. And I think the arts are deep in the groups that don't quite fit in, because the arts will take you. Like, I don't care who you are, what you do. Like, there's a spot for you. And I want to, that's a really important part of the Powerhouse. Like, we got a spot for you. I don't care who you are, what you do. I don't want to hear about a lot of stuff, you know what I mean? Because I do have my opinions, but you're welcome to do your opinion too. So John and I, like, we don't talk politics.
Yeah.
Well, but we can, and that's important in arts. Like, I respect his opinion, he respects mine, and we focus on where we build beautiful things together.
Yeah.
I think to your point about, the Powerhouse being that physical space, right, that location, that site-specific experience for people, but then getting back to that idea that the Powerhouse didn't hold the electricity that it generated, right? Like, it exported it.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
so it's important to have, that locus of energy and that place where people can share space and exist and create. But ultimately, the end goal, right, is to distribute that power, distribute that energy, distribute that creativity, right, throughout areas that are outside of this one.
You need to make a commercial of that.
Yeah.
I want that to be the 30-second bleep.
There's
That was
gonna
awesome.
be a bunch of reels throughout.
I'm
this
telling you,
whole
like,
thing.
that's the one. That's why you came here. That's super cool.
Yeah.
That would make a painting of like
Yeah.
the ideas going through those little holes.
Exactly right.
You nailed it.
Right.
Yeah,
That was
I think
super
you
cool.
put into words a lot of the stuff that we've been talking about.
That's why she's
because
got
that's
impressive
like,
vocabulary.
yeah, I feel like that's what I was saying. A lot of people sort of go throughout their life and sort of focus on doing things later, and they don't think about doing things now. And sort of our actions that we have as humans create a certain reality around us. And if you don't sort of view the world that way, it's hard to maybe make changes and have an impact on the world, the reality around you. So we're sort of, by what we're doing and sharing it, we're sort of inviting people to think that way and to share that power outwards, like you said. So
Finally do it today.
Yeah.
Just finally do
Yeah.
it today.
do it.
Even if it's a minute. Just finally do it today.
Yeah.
So, what would you like to see more of it, like of what we're doing? Cause I felt bad the other day, and you're like, I've been waiting to do this, figurative sculpture. I'm like, I didn't know that. Like,
Just want something different.
yeah,
Something that was lightweight I could carry up the stairs.
yeah, yeah. We've come up with different rules while we're building, and
Yeah.
yeah,
Do people know, like, we talk about building and the art and stuff. I mean, these people need to know, like, what the Garling house is. Like, when you're talking about sculpting, like,
right.
I don't, I mean, it's, you
There'll
have to-
be some footage mixed in there, I
there
think.
needs to be, because you
Yeah.
can't describe with words.
It's
really.
totally indescribable.
Even
It's
pictures.
There's what it physically is, and then there's the metaphorical sort of relationship that it has to your life. And I
Yeah.
think you almost don't even view it as a physical thing anymore. Like when you describe it to people, you only tell them like what it means to you. It's
Right.
like become that ingrained with who you are. That,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, there's
So-
a lot of things I don't see. There's a lot of things you don't see. Like
Yeah.
we just have a different viewpoint on it, and I just want it done. Like I just want it done because I want it done so I can build other stuff. Like that's because we're down to the trim work, man, and it is taking forever. And my ultimate goal is I get around because there's 3 of us. Like full-time building, I think we had like about 5 to 7. Cause I like doing the big stuff that's super fast and like a lot of thought process. Like that's what I love, man. I just do that all day long. And when we get down to the details, I'm like, man, we need like 5 more Johns.
I don't mind the details.
And he's good at it. Cause I always say, oh, it'll be all right. And John's like, no, like that looks terrible. We're fixing that. So it's been a lot of fun. But I've always, cause John's so quiet, I just want to make sure that we're doing stuff that everybody likes to do.
Yeah. No, that kind of takes me back to some of my ideas for the podcast too. Like, I seriously want to have an episode where we feature Addison and feature John and feature Hannah, and
Yeah.
of course, maybe if that's in this stage where like a solo project or something that Addison could take charge on, just highlighting like her creative process and showing off that stuff and the growth through that. Like I want to do that for I don't know, everybody that's worked on Powerhouse in history. So
Yeah, Addison's got mad talent. Like I've seen it. I want to see her find a little more drive. So you just take over and you just do it. So I told her the other day, I'm like, stop waiting for me. Like don't just, you know what to do, just do it.
I seriously, whenever I've walked around town and talked to some of the art gallery owners and just talked about how I've been working with you, and they don't even talk about you. They just go straight to Addison, and they're like, Addison is the most talented person, and
Yes.
like 18 years old, and you're doing these sculptures that I thought one of them in the hangar was Herb's bronze, like. And then you have 2 of them there that are like insane. So I just
Kraken.
want to feature like stories like that because it's cool to see that growth and that change. And I don't know. I want what we're doing to be a catalyst for that for a bunch of people.
So what do you want this to be?
The Powerhouse?
Yeah.
I don't know. I just use it as something to do. Like, it really keeps me going. Like, without a job, I'd be at home doing nothing. So I really like coming to, like, work with my dad and John every day.
It's fun. It's good. And it keeps me and John hustling because we can't keep up with her now. So, like, we're just moving all the time, and I just want to see what you can do. And when we were talking, I don't want to force anybody into like a path. I just want to support that path. But I strongly feel like, well, if you were a welder or a creative, at some point people will be lined up to work and to help. And the guy that I've been talking to at the City Museum, the curator, he told me, it's like we had to turn people away. Like, it's too much, like, you know, because we've created something that people want to be a part of. And what I've told Addison many times, I'm like, you're sitting on some place and like you're doing things that a lot of people would be like, I want to do that. So, you know, I worry that people might give her a hard time being like, well, why are you doing that? Like, you could be doing this. But I look at it as like, no, like, you're doing this. I mean, I'm not saying you got to do this. I'm just saying, like, I would be proud of what it is that you're doing, because like your work will be seen by hundreds of people. I mean, it already is. And I hear that all the time too, like, man, your daughter's work, like down at the hangar, it's like, it's super awesome. And it shines. It shines because you're young, beautiful person, and you got super good talent. So.
Yeah, and I've kind of already dealt with that. Like, even with like family, like they'll be like, well, why are you doing that? Like, you're not really making money. Like, you're not gonna have your taxes, like all that. But I don't really look at it like that. Like, I'm having fun. If I need a job, I can always go do what I need to do. But at the end of the day, I really love making art. And like you said, it's gonna be something like permanent. Like, someone can always go there and be, oh, Addison did that. But like, if I go get a job at like Walmart, they're not gonna be, oh, Addison put the chips on the shelf. Like, I really like doing like what I do.
Yeah. So that's like what I want to feature. I want to spend a whole episode of maybe the podcast going into stories like that, and just exploring that and all the artists that we are involved with. And I want to get the community out there involved and like do Q&As and have them send us our work. And I don't know, when people visit, then they'll feel a bigger connection to it too. So
I'd have to give a shout out to Ayanna Zachary.
Yeah.
She's been like working side by side with me for quite some time.
Yeah.
And what happened is that I realized, I'm like, oh, me and John are construction workers. That's what we're doing. And we've been working so hard and so much on like the foundation work, like it just ties us up. We don't get to set the framing up for sculpture work and things like that. So she's a key person that I really look forward to working with in the future. And then we've got Rick Harney.
Yeah.
Creating like next level talent. Like, I look at Rick as like, he's somebody that should have a status of like superstar, like stuff sold all over the world at high dollars. He's just that good. And it's super cool to be around him. And then we've had some younger people just like stop by and help us weld. Isaac, I think his last name's Goffner. I can't spell it. So we don't really know what his last name is.
Right. That's it.
You know, he's helped us out, and I don't want to leave out. There's several people that have helped us out, but like it's going to take an army to do what it needs to be. But whatever it is, that's just what it's going to be. I like knowing that I hope that I never see the end of this. Like, I hope I just pass away and just like it just like keeps going, which is like the City Museum. You know, that dude passed away in 95 or 96, I think, or so, and it just keeps going. And that place is very motivating, and John and I, we're going there next Friday. Just because I'm like, man, there's this thing we need to go down there and see. Like, I want John to put his eyes on it too.
I think I know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
I started thinking about, but anyway.
Yeah. Yeah. John doesn't like ideas because he knows what it means. It means we're building.
Work ahead.
Yeah, we're working.
Yeah.
20 tons, man. We can lift 20 tons. I'm so excited about that.
There
But
you go.
yeah, it's just I'm excited. Like I get up every day and I'm pumped up, and I only meet good people. Like, that's it. There is not a negative person that's gonna take 2 seconds to come over here and tell us negative stuff. Like, you're not gonna, because it takes an effort to get out and tell you what you don't like. And like a negative, not good person is not, I've already figured that out. Like they're not. Like you see face expressions, like you see hurtful face expressions.
Fingers.
Or gestures, yeah. Yeah, I got the classic from an old lady. An old lady did that at my house. And it was kind of genius. It was the best like punch I've ever had. She actually did the crank as she was waving at me and switched it over to the crank. I'm like, dang, that was well played. It hurt a little bit. But other than that, like it's pretty good. And I just energy is so, and I believe in it. Like I believe in it like so much. And I wish I knew more about it. But I'm telling you, like I tap into something when I sleep. I feel it. I felt it. We'll say at that beam. And for some reason or another, my life wants me to do this. Like I've tried to do other things or like decided to try, different adventures, and I just keep landing back here.
Yeah.
So now I'm like, okay, I've accepted it. Like we're gonna do this. It's gonna be super cool.
Yeah.
And I've always been lucky enough to have like the tools that we need, the material. Like it just kind of like keeps popping up, and crane is bigger than I thought it was. So like, I know we can stack stuff up like super high now. Like, and we can even go higher than the roof.
Metaphorically and physically.
For real, I can rip that roof out in a day. So it's been fun. It's been fun. So
I'm excited to really get the community involved and share this, and
yeah.
I don't know, get people behind this because it's gonna take off. So
Yeah, and you've kind of got some classes kind of already lined up,
we
correct?
gotta throw that in there.
What's
too.
that?
Yeah, so again, just initial ideation phase, but thinking really strategically about, captive audiences, right? Scout groups, other even, school programs, but thinking about how do we get kind of that critical mass of kiddos down into the sculpture bark specifically, and engaging with that physical space, but doing it in an interpretive way where they can sense it, they can feel it, but then they can also create in response to it, right? And really start kind of reconciling with, oh, what is it that I'm experiencing? And even just the effort with the QR codes and that additional interpretation, right? Like connecting people to that story, not just the materials that it's made out of, but all of the artist's hands that have touched it, right? Really emphasizing that idea of collaboration, artistic community, and then translating that to, a wide variety of audiences. But I think my natural inclination is to start with the littles, just because, again, when you hook them, you hook the whole bunch, you know what I mean? And I think, too, that's something that we maybe haven't seen as much of as the general public, right? That viewing population is, we know the artist hands that have touched the work, but how do we show, the community engaging with it and young people enjoying it and being inspired by it?
So where did your drive come? Like, why are you so, like, this is passionate to you?
Where does it come from?
And I feel it and I love it,
Yeah.
right? So
I think honestly it is that idea of growing up in a creative household. So both my parents were theater artists. And so similarly, I went to work with my parents every day. And so my brother and I, we grew up watching our parents create in real time. And then we're very quickly brought into that process. And so if we weren't, in the house while they were working on a stage somewhere, we were literally at our own house, building scenery in the driveway. And so there was just this immediacy to the idea of work and labor, and knowing that many hands, often do make light work. And so having the opportunity to be a person who's grown up in one space, right? To have peers of my parents become peers of myself later in life. There's just kind of this cyclical situation going on, but all of those circles are just a little bit different, right? And so relationships change or opportunities emerge and intersect. And but yeah, I think the hustle just comes from that idea of art is work, and just being able to see that firsthand so early on, and embracing it rather than rejecting it, right? I think it can go one of two extremes, right? You either say, yep, this is me, I'm going to live this too, or you look for something else entirely. And I just kind of happen to follow that trajectory while making it my own.
So when we talked before, I believe you kind of worded it like you felt maybe you liked being almost like a hub or somebody that you could go to where you would help maybe collaborate other people. Is that correct?
Yeah,
So you would like to help overall, maybe people find a place to go or know like, hey, I can come to you and you can tell me where to go and like guide. Is that correct?
Yeah, I think for me personally, it's always important to be working within or for something larger than yourself, right? Okay. And so I don't necessarily have my personal visual art that I'm trying to get out into the world, right? But I see the value in it. I've had the experience with it, and to be able to say, okay, this is my relationship to it. What could it be for other folks to build this relationship to it? And so, yeah, a little bit like Tom, you saying that even though you've tried other adventures, life has kind of funneled you into this space. For me, I think, yeah, everything that's happened in my life has continued to position me to be not at the center as a person, but at the center of knowledge about the resources and the opportunities that are available and connecting people to them.
I think in a way we're all artists. Even though you aren't a physical artist, you are creating something larger than yourself. So you're putting in actions that make something big and a bigger picture. So,
but
in a way, a lot of people coming together and doing that creates something huge like Powerhouse itself. So.
I mean, because I've seen your drawings. I just saw them like I physically saw you painting. So
Yeah.
I mean, do you enjoy creating the space and the option for people to do things, or do you like to like paint or sculpt? Like,
So
do you like the hands-on?
Yeah, I very much like the hands-on, but I think that's why I find myself in that kind of educative capacity is that that gives me, in order to teach something, you have to learn it.
Yeah.
And so that's what feeds me personally is that opportunity. And that goes back to the theater too, right? Every show is different. You have to, know about the time period, or you have to think about how do we totally redesign, this vision for this play that's maybe been done a million times before, but this is going to be a different production. So that reinvention. So I would say I'm definitely a hands-on person, but what I love is the almost the art history aspect, right? The understanding, where did this idea come from? What was this inspiration? And then being able to engage with it, but not necessarily creating something new in the process, right? It's that idea of, or unique to me, right? It's that idea of learning and engaging, and drawing attention to it through that process.
Yeah, I think what you're doing is really important for the community, and it's something that we need to do a lot more, just interpreting history into kind of art and bigger context of time rather than just like a painting on a wall. Mm-hmm. So
I look at like what, again, my viewpoint of what I think it is that you enjoy doing, what I've seen. I look at you as like being able to put a nice Band-Aid or communications between the people that I struggle communicating with, right? Like that's, I'm doing this. A lot of people don't like that. So I think with the way you express yourself and maybe see both sides a little better than I do, I see great value in that too. And it's going to take a lot of people to get this thing where I want it to be. I think eventually at some point, like podcast, what's another important thing about the podcast? Well, people just simply need to understand what it is that we want to do. And I'm hoping they've got this super cool machine that belonged to their great grandfather that's sitting out in the barn, and I can tell them like, I'll go pick it up, like, and we'll turn it into something that's really cool. And I'm already feeling that, like because people are seeing what it is that we'll do. So eventually I think we will be able to work less and work more on building it, right? Like we'll have the opportunities to get product materials and I had a phone call this morning. This guy's like, hey, I think I know you wanted this machine. Like, come and get it. I'm like, heck yeah, I do. So as far as like the history goes, like that would be my personal favorite part, is going to get this stuff. Like Addison's been with me, and Avery, I mean, we've toured. Oh, I'm like, all right, we're gonna go look at this place, and they'd be like, but they would go with me, and it was fun, man. Like collecting all this stuff. Super fun. So.
I think that's a pretty good place. I think we've talked about our vision for Powerhouse and kind of maybe gotten some of you excited out there for what's to come. And I don't know, we'd love to hear what you guys think, or if you want to stay up to date with it, subscribe. I don't know exactly where you're going to be able to listen and subscribe to all this, but if you want to be a part of it, definitely get involved. And
what would be super helpful is a contribution, a financial contribution. What we're doing takes dollars, and a little bit would help. So on our website, we have a place where you can make donations. The goal is on everything that we ever make would have a QR code, and this QR code is going to give the history of what it is that we built. We've already started it. You've been putting together like a little small film of the process, and I would really like to see we do a little bit better job of that in the future, where we really document
everything,
the build and who was in it and the fun stories, behind it. And we could have an individual or a group be a part of that by sponsoring that, and we'll, put your name on it, and maybe make an individual video of your business and whatnot. And that's what we need. Like, that's going to help tremendously. So that's important.
We're at the start of something big, so we've got a lot of ways that this is going to go, and excited to have you join us early.
Yeah.
So thank you.
Cool. Thanks.
See ya.